So Thinc are a full stack technology provider. We provide ERP and business systems to the mid-market, and that includes a number of different facets. So we've got the core ERP system. We surround that by cyber and managed services, and we also provide integration and development services for our customers. What we've seen over the past few years is there's been an increasing desire to integrate systems, especially as more SaaS platforms are used and as organizations use platforms that are more specific to certain workforces. Having a central data set is essential. It removes friction within a business and also allows organizations to get much deeper insight using a single set of data. What we see is AI itself isn't just a new practice, but it's a further iteration on system integration, automation, and then AI. It's another capability. And as companies have asked us about this and have become increasingly aware of AI, we've developed our system integration and development practice to incorporate AI capabilities. So I think the needs of organizations are evolving. 12 months ago, organizations were hearing about AI and they felt that they had to be doing something with it. And that led to a rush to using tools like ChatGPT and Claude. I think now that's started to settle down. Organizations are starting to ask themselves, so what's the return that they should be getting from those AI tools? And that then naturally leads to, well, what are the use cases for AI? What's the return I'm trying to get? What are the processes that I'm trying to enhance? And the conversations that we're now having with customers has moved to understanding and creating clarity around processes that customers have today. What processes could be automated, what systems could be integrated, and where AI could enhance the level of decision making or improve the outputs of those processes. So as we provide business systems to SMEs, we have to make sure that our systems and offerings are fresh and relevant to those customers. If we go back a number of years, customers started to purchase SaaS platforms, and what we saw with those SaaS platforms is there was a spread of data. So just as we got data together on single ERP systems, there started to become a data sprawl again across SaaS platforms. What we developed from our existing development practice was integrating systems together so that organizations had a single source of data. Data governance is extremely important. If you don't govern your data and you don't know that your data is of high quality, then the output, whether it's from a report or whether it's from AI, is going to be degraded. And with the advances around AI, the questions that our customers have asked has also evolved, and we've modified or we've evolved our offerings to encompass AI within those business systems offerings. From an approach standpoint, our approach doesn't change or hasn't changed that much. The conversations with customers starts at a diagnostics level. We understand what it is that customers are trying to achieve. We work through with customers what their existing processes are, and then we design a future state, and we understand how people and technology will work together to achieve the outcome that organization is looking for. So sometimes there is a misconception that AI can feed you information that's incorrect, and that can certainly happen. But I also think there's a misconception that AI can feed you information that appears to be correct, but actually isn't correct. And that comes down to governance and the data that you feed to that AI model or the question that you ask it. So to address that, the most important thing is the underlying data that you're feeding a platform with. And I think that's not something new with AI. That would be the same for any reporting system or any business system. If the underlying data is poor quality or inconsistent, then the output is going to be shaky. So absolutely, making sure that there's good quality data that's fed into the model, and also making sure that the queries or the way that AI is being questioned is tailored and tuned iteratively over time. If you do that, you can improve the quality of the output, and also, possibly more importantly, you can improve the consistency of the output as well. So there's a lot of AI-focused consultancies out there addressing the SME market, and they've got very capable individuals and technologists working within those organizations. Our heritage is implementing ERP and business systems, integrating SaaS systems together. And the reason that is important for our customers is that our consultants have many years of working with hundreds of different organizations, understanding the challenges that they have and identifying solutions to enable their business. Now my view is coming at this AI opportunity from a business systems standpoint gives us significantly greater knowledge to help our customers. We're not just trying to fix the problem the client believes they may have, or identify the opportunity that the client may think that is available to them, but we're able to positively challenge customers to make sure that if they transform with AI, they're going to get the greatest return. The way that we've done that is we have existing ERP practices within the business. We have managed services and cybersecurity, and for some time we've had a development and system integration practice, and we've extended the skills of that practice to include individuals that have got AI experience, and that's how I believe we deliver the greatest value to our customers. I think when we first speak to organizations about AI, they're not necessarily thinking immediately of security and governance. The conversation starts with trying to identify opportunities that they have either identified themselves or ideas that they would like to explore. I think once we take the blinkers off and we allow organizations to see the possibilities of what they could achieve, I think the conversation then very quickly moves on to data security, governance, reputation, and those types of items. The way that I frame this with customers is to say that these issues that we're talking about around security and governance, AI is just accelerating something that those customers may have had in place already. It's bringing it to the front, and it's forcing those conversations at a senior management level. So I'd say in the main, they are not all new problems, but AI is forcing senior management, senior leadership to make sure that they've got an approach and they are addressing those items correctly, whereas in the past, maybe it wasn't such a priority for those organizations. So I think although it's a new conversation for an SME in terms of what are the cost of tokens, different models having different costs, I think the review of using AI within business and the return that it provides to a business is no different to any other type of investment that an organization would make, whether it's a capital purchase or purchasing another service. It's understanding the cost of that service and understanding the benefit that that brings to the business. For me, the fact that you're buying AI tokens and you're understanding the output from the purchase of those tokens, that's what requires the analysis. If we focused on an automation example, if there's an activity that's performed once a month and it takes a couple of hours, the investment in that to automate that activity or the return from that could be quite low. Whereas if there's an activity that's predictable, takes place many times a month and takes up a number of hours each time that's performed, then the investment may be worthwhile for the benefit that's returned. For me, the token conversation is just the same. Understanding what is the investment, what's the likely return, and the business making a judgment based on that. We've had a number of customers that have approached us with quite different challenges or queries, and I think at the moment there's no typical customer because this is an emerging technology, and the capabilities are quite broad. So we've had some customers that have approached us, and they have just want broadly educating and making aware of what the art of the possible is. And we've workshopped with those customers their business processes to identify use cases. And often as a result of those workshops, we identify opportunities that they had not previously considered from speaking through what the technologies are capable of providing. We've equally had other customers who've come to us and they've got a very specific issue that they're trying to address, and they've asked if we can assist them with that. And we've developed a proof of concept. They've tested that proof of concept, and they've then taken that proof of concept live within their business. So I don't think there's a typical engagement, but we have had conversations with customers where they've wanted broad awareness to try and identify use cases, through to customers who have been more aware of AI's capabilities, and they've come to us with specific use cases that they've wanted to develop solutions for. So is AI or automation for everyone? I think AI is not necessarily for everyone. Depending on what a customer is looking to achieve, AI absolutely may not be the right solution. It could be that automation is the right solution. And the way that I try to differentiate between the two is that if we can determine a sequence of activities that need to be performed, then automation may be the right solution for a customer rather than AI, where we've got a defined set of inputs, we've got a defined set of steps, and we want a repeatable outcome every time. We want that consistency. Where AI comes into its own is where we're perhaps working with unstructured data sets, or where perhaps we're looking for opinion and options. In those scenarios, automation isn't as able to provide that consistent output, and in that scenario, AI is a really good choice. So I think what may have surprised people so far is the pace of change. Within 12, 18 months, we've gone from chat-based AI being readily available to agentic AI being used, and there's now quite increasing conversations from the supplier and vendors about how different AI agents can be talking to each other across different platforms. So for me, I don't think that pace of change will slow down. I think it will continue. So I think then the challenge for organisations becomes how do they keep up with it? So as part of keeping up with that pace of change, I believe a lot of organisations, their conversations internally will be, how do we embrace it? How do we reimagine or redesign the processes to take advantage of those new technologies? And then the conversation moves on to, how do we make sure we do that in a controlled way, in a safe way? Who's responsible for the use of AI? And what I would expect to see is that's when legal frameworks and commercial frameworks, for example, insurers, that's starting to now change on the back of these AI developments. So who takes responsibility for the output? How do you audit what's being done by AI? What's being done by a human? What's being validated by a human before something's released? So I suppose if I just take that a level higher, as technology continues at pace, I think the narrative or the conversation is now going to move to how it's governed and owned within organisations, and within the enterprise space, that's already a hot topic. That's being discussed a lot. I think that's going to come to the mid-market very soon as well. So I think to start with, I'm just going to go back to the premise that we're a business systems provider. We've got consultants with many years working with hundreds of companies implementing business systems and integrating different business systems platforms. So organizations may have different challenges. They may be just trying to explore how AI can assist them, or they may have those use cases already where they are aware of inefficiencies or a desire to improve within their organization. The first step would be pick up the phone and talk to us. We have developed a number of different offerings to help customers, whether that's entry-based offerings to explore use cases and understand existing processes and how processes can be perhaps uplifted using AI or automation, all the way through to more custom development activities where we've developed add-ons to existing ERP systems, integrations between different business system platforms to transform the way that organizations work. All these items have that key premise, which is the underlying data has to be sound, and the higher the quality of the underlying data, the greater the output and the return. So, yeah, as a business systems provider, we will look at this not just from a technology and AI standpoint, but we'll be looking at this from a business system standpoint and understanding the data that you've got within your organization as well. So some examples of those engagements would be a workshop where we work with customers, with their leadership team to explore the AI landscape. We look to do a discovery around how businesses operate their key business processes, understand the touch points with technology and people, and we look to see if there's opportunities to improve how those organizations operate. Another engagement that we have with customers is helping customers where somebody within the organization, where we've got this citizen coding, where someone's vibe coded some application that the business is now reliant on. We can take that code, we can run that through some industry standard security tests, make sure it's got the right specifications behind it to give organizations, give customers that confidence that if they are using AI generated code within their organization, they've got a level of confidence that that code is secure and reliable to use within their business.